Stop scrolling. Imagine this. You're at JFK, T-minus 40 minutes to your flight to Tokyo. You've got a $300 smart suitcase you just bought for the trip. You heave it onto the scale. The agent looks at it, looks at you, and says, "That's not getting on the plane." You argue. You plead. You point at the TSA approved sticker on the handle. It doesn't matter. Because of one tiny component inside that bag, something you probably didn't even check. You now have two choices: miss your flight, or trash your $300 luggage right there in the terminal. This isn't a hypothetical scenario. I'm seeing this happen every single day in 2025. We all know you can't bring a bottle of water or a samurai sword on a plane. But the rules have quietly shifted. The TSA is cracking down on high-tech electronics that look harmless but are technically classified as hazardous materials or security threats under the new enforcement protocols. I'm talking about gadgets you use every day. Things you have in your backpack right now. I'm Kaka. I spent 15 years consulting on aviation security protocols. I've seen the manuals, I've seen the confiscation bins, and I know exactly what triggers a red flag. Today, I'm saving your gear. We are going through the 10 electronics TSA will confiscate in 2025 if you don't pack them exactly right. Listen, I love cool tech. I'd travel with half a Radio Shack in my backpack. But here's the secret the blogs won't tell you. TSA agents aren't tech experts. They are threat experts. When they see a bundle of wires, a dense battery block, or a device that emits a radio signal they don't recognize, they don't Google it. They seize it. And in 2025, with the rollout of the new CT scanners, those big white tubes that look like MRI machines, they are seeing everything inside your bag in 3D. They can spot a non-compliant lithium cell from 3 lanes over. So, let's start with the one item that is causing the most heartbreak at the check-in counter this year. You've seen these. Smart luggage. They have USB ports to charge your phone, built-in scales, GPS tracking, maybe even a motor so it follows you like a puppy. They are awesome. I own 2 of them. But here is where you get burned. In 2025, the airlines and the FAA have zero tolerance for non-removable lithium batteries in checked luggage. Zero. Here's the physics. Lithium-ion batteries can go into thermal runaway. That's fancy talk for catching fire and exploding. If that happens in the overhead bin, the flight attendants can grab a fire extinguisher. If that happens in the cargo hold, underneath 200 other bags at 30,000 feet, that is a catastrophic event. The rule: if you plan to check your bag, or if the overhead bins are full and they force you to gate check it, you must be able to pop that battery out instantly. If your smart bag has a battery that requires a screwdriver to remove, or it's sewn into the lining, it is not flying. I have seen people frantic at the gate, tearing the lining out of their expensive Rimawa or Away knockoffs, trying to rip the battery out because the gate agent won't let them board. If you can't eject it, the bag stays on the ground. The fix: before you buy any luggage with a USB port, check the inside pocket. If you can't remove the power source in under 5 seconds with one hand, do not buy it. Next up, let's talk about juice. We all carry power banks. But there is a magic number you need to tattoo on your brain: 100 watt-hours. Most people look at milliamp hours. You see a 20,000 mAh charger and think, great, more power. But the TSA and FAA measure danger in watt-hours. Here's the breakdown that will keep your $150 Anchor Prime from ending up in the TSA trash bin. Under 100 Wh, you can bring as many as you want in your carry-on. 100 Wh to 160 Wh, you can bring up to 2, but technically you need airline approval. Over 160 Wh, banned. But Kaka, you ask, how do I know the watt-hours? Look at the tiny text on the back of your battery. It must look legible. If the label is worn off, scratched, or, heaven forbid, you bought a cheap knockoff that doesn't list the specs, the TSA agent has the right to confiscate it because they can't verify it's safe. And here is the kicker for 2025: portable power stations. I'm seeing a lot of creators traveling with those massive EcoFlow or Jackery units to power their laptops in the wild. Many of the small ones are exactly 200 or 300 watt-hours. If you try to bring a 300 Wh battery on a passenger plane, checked or carry-on, it is gone. They will take it. It's considered Class 9 hazardous material. You have to ship that via FedEx ground or cargo. Do not try to sneak a camping battery onto a Delta flight. You will lose. But it gets worse. Because there is a new category of tech that isn't banned because of physics, but because of suspicion. Let's talk about the Flipper Zero. If you're in tech, you know what this is. It looks like a little orange toy. It's cute. It has a dolphin on the screen. It can also clone hotel key cards, turn off TV screens at sports bars, and open Tesla charging ports. It is a penetration testing tool. And it is 100% legal to own. However, to a TSA officer who has been briefed on emerging cyber threats, this doesn't look like a Game Boy. It looks like a device designed to interfere with aircraft systems or bypass security doors. While there is no official ban list that says Flipper Zero, I am seeing reports from the community constantly about these getting flagged for additional screening. Here is the scenario: you go through the scanner. They pull your bag. They pull out this weird little device with antennas and pins. They ask you what it is. If you say, it's for hacking, you are going to miss your flight. You might even get a visit from a very unfriendly supervisor. In 2025, as airport security becomes more paranoid about cyber warfare, carrying obscure circuit boards, Raspberry Pis with exposed wiring, or Wi-Fi pineapples in your carry-on is asking for trouble. The fix: if you must travel with these, 1. Power them down completely. 2. Put them in a case that looks professional, not like a heap of wires. 3. Be ready to explain simply: it is a diagnostic tool for my work. Do not use the word hack. Ever. But honestly, if you can check it, check it. Don't give them a reason to think you're trying to bypass the cockpit lock. Now, those first 3 are about what the item is. The next item on my list is something you probably have in your pocket right now. and you have no idea that the condition of this item could get it taken away. I'm talking about your phone. Specifically, a phone that looks like this. This is what the internet calls a spicy pillow. It's a lithium-ion battery that has puffed up because of gas buildup. It happens to old phones, laptops you left plugged in for 3 years, and cheap power banks. If a TSA officer sees a device where the screen is popping out, or the trackpad on your laptop is cracked from underneath, they can, and legally should, stop it from getting on the plane. Why? Because this isn't just broken. It's a bomb waiting for a puncture. If this battery gets compressed in your bag, or the pressure changes in the cabin, it ignites. And unlike a paper fire, a lithium fire creates its own oxygen. You can't just smother it. The reality check. If you are traveling with an old MacBook that looks like it's pregnant, you are taking a massive risk. Not only could they confiscate it, but if you argue, you look like someone trying to bring an incendiary device on board. Leave the spicy pillows at home. Get the battery swapped before your trip. Now, I need to speak to the vapors. Every single day, thousands of these are confiscated. Not because they are illegal, but because you put them in the wrong bag. The rule: electronic cigarettes and vaping devices are forbidden in checked luggage. You cannot put them in the belly of the plane. Period. The heating element in a vape can accidentally activate. If it's buried in your suitcase next to your polyester shirts, it starts a fire. And because it's in the cargo hold, nobody smells the smoke until it's too late. The TSA scanners for checked baggage are incredibly good at spotting the density of vape pens. If they see one, they will open your bag, remove the device, and leave you a nice little notice of inspection slip in its place. You get to your hotel, open your bag, and your $50 mod is gone. The fix: these must live in the cabin with you. Put them in your carry-on. And for the love of everything holy, do not try to charge them on the plane. That is a federal offense. This is a nightmare scenario. Photographers, drone pilots, tech enthusiasts, listen up. You have spare batteries. Canon batteries, GoPro batteries, 18,650s for your flashlight. If you throw these loosely into a pouch where they can touch each other, or touch a set of keys, or some loose change, you are creating a short circuit. TSA Guideline: spare, uninstalled, lithium batteries must be individually protected to prevent short circuits. If a TSA agent digs through your camera bag and sees 5 lithium batteries rolling around naked in the bottom pocket, they can confiscate every single one of them. They don't have time to tape them up for you. They just classify them as a hazard and toss them in the bin. The fix: 1. Keep them in their original retail packaging. 2. Put tape over the contact points. 3. Or use a plastic battery case. It takes 2 seconds to tape your terminals. It costs you $50 a battery if you don't. But speaking of batteries, there is one device where the battery isn't the only problem. The device itself is on the watch list if it looks too homemade. We live in a maker culture. People build their own gaming handhelds, their own keyboards, their own music synthesizers. But if you bring a device that looks like a bundle of wires, duct tape, and exposed circuit boards, you are triggering every alarm bell in the security theater. I have a friend who builds custom synthesizers. He brought a prototype on a flight. No case, just boards and knobs. The TSA shut down the lane for 20 minutes. Explosives experts were called. He missed his flight, and he never got that prototype back. To a layperson, exposed wires plus battery plus timer/screen equals IED. The rule: if it doesn't look like a finished consumer product, expect a hassle. If you are traveling with DIY electronics. 1. Detach the power source. Separate the battery from the board. 2. Case it. Even a cheap 3D printed case makes it look like a product and not a threat. 3. Be ready to power it on. And that brings me to the scariest rule of all. The one rule that can get your phone, your laptop, or your expensive camera confiscated right at the security checkpoint, even if it's brand new and perfectly safe. If this screen doesn't turn on, you aren't getting past the checkpoint. If this screen stays black, you are not going to your gate. You are going to a private room. This is the power-up rule, and it is the most overlooked rule in travel history. Since 2014, the TSA and international security agencies have enforced a strict policy: if it doesn't turn on, it doesn't fly. Why? Because a hollowed-out iPhone or a gutted laptop is the perfect shell for an improvised explosive device. If the device functions, if the Apple logo pops up, or the home screen loads, security knows the internals are likely legitimate components, not plastic explosives. In 2025, with heightened security alerts, agents are spot-checking devices more frequently. If your phone is dead because you watched Netflix for 8 hours in the Uber, and the agent asks you to power it on, and you can't, they will confiscate it. They cannot let a potential bomb onto the aircraft just because you forgot your charger. The fix: save 5% battery. Always. If you are walking into the security line with a dead phone, plug it into your power bank while you wait in line. Do not hand a dead device to a federal officer. Now, we are moving from confiscation territory into federal crime territory. I see these on TikTok and Temu all the time. Privacy protectors. GPS blockers. Let me be crystal clear: signal jammers are illegal to own, operate, or transport in the United States. If TSA finds a device in your bag designed to block cell signals, Wi-Fi, or GPS, they aren't just taking the device. They are calling the FBI. Interfering with communications infrastructure is a violation of the Communications Act of 1934. But in an airport? You are essentially carrying a device that can blind air traffic control or interfere with the plane's navigation systems. Do not buy them. Do not pack them. If you have one for testing purposes, ship it via a licensed courier. If you bring this to a checkpoint, you will miss your flight, lose your global entry status, and possibly face a $112,000 fine. Finally, number 10. This little presentation clicker for your PowerPoint? Totally fine. But this? This high-powered, military-grade green laser you bought online to point at stars? Banned. The FAA reports thousands of laser strikes on aircraft every year. It blinds pilots during landing. It is catastrophic. Because of this, TSA has a zero-tolerance policy for high-output handheld lasers, usually anything over 5 milliwatts, in the cabin. If the agent picks it up and it feels heavy, or it looks like a lightsaber handle, they will check the warning label. If it lacks a classification label or looks like a high-powered tactical device, it goes in the bin. The bottom line: unless you are doing a presentation at a conference, leave the lasers at home. It's not worth the hassle. Look, the TSA isn't trying to steal your toys. They are trying to keep 300 people from evaporating at 30,000 feet. The rules in 2025 are about battery safety and signal security. If you pack your batteries in a case, keep your devices charged, and leave the hacker gadgets at home, you will breeze through pre-check while everyone else is arguing over a swollen iPhone. If this saved you from losing a $200 gadget, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. I've got a full pre-flight tech checklist PDF linked in the description below. Download it, print it, and put it in your suitcase. Don't let the TSA take your gear. Fly safe, and I'll see you in the next one.